So you
Yes.
said something that jumped out at me. You reminded me that throughout my career, one of the biggest uh, questions has always been, how can we prioritize what it is that we are telling the learner and scaffold so that they understand what's important? Because the subject matter experts or the stakeholders that I would work with would often come back. Now, mind you, in a I don't know about education, but in corporate L&D, an organization that's used to providing training around its own services, um, there was usually a backlog, like an archive of everything that had ever been done, everything that had ever been written. And when you would talk to someone in the business and they would say, well, we need training on X. And you would say, well, what do you have on X? And they would say, oh, here's what we have on X. And you'd get, 3 binders worth of stuff. And I would say, well, we haven't even talked about what the problem is yet. And I can tell you right now that 90% of what you're showing me is probably not relevant for what it is that we need to do. So it was whittling down. It was figuring out, how can we take out content, because we don't want the learner to burn out before they even get to the part where they are practicing the thing they need to know, the behavior change. Um, the other thing was, so when you would agree on a curriculum and then you would say, so what is the most important thing they need to know versus what is the nice to know? What is the sort of supporting material? Because we want to organize according to that. And the answer would be, well, it's all important. It's all equally important. You say,
I would hear
well,
that a lot.
we
Yeah.
can't, you can do that, but it's not going to result in, I mean, if you get completion, that's all you're going to get.
That's all you're going to get.
You're not going to move the needle. You're not going to see performance enhanced. Um, and that's our role in L&D. It's always been our role in L&D, is to sort of field those questions and help people who are attached or who are championing or who are paying the bill understand, hey, we're on your side. We're actually trying to save you money. We're actually trying to improve the results you get from this training, right?
Right.
And then you look at AI. And one of the magic things about AI is you can say, give me a 10 chapter course explaining everything about, you know, ABC.
Hmm.
And AI just spits it out. So
Right.
anyone who's not in learning and development, they look at that and they say, this is the magic bullet. This is the 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 gold standard. I never have to wait for content anymore. And I skim through it and it seems pretty good. I don't need to sit in a meeting with someone sort of reviewing it point by point, because it seems to look good, reads well, right? All of that is true. And you say, as an L&D professional, imagining the learner like you were doing, you were like, oh my God, I'm imagining this student looking at this exercise and what are they
Right.
going to think? And then you add to that things like, well, in the modern age, with people not having very much time to consume content in the first place, they've got so much they've got on their plate. Like, the learning is, it's an obligation for us to keep it simple, make it clear, not take any more time than it has to, right?
Right. Right. That's
And
so
when
true.
you there have been studies that talk about how people scan material, digital pages, written pages, that sort of thing. And when they start looking at something, they're doing the left to right. And as they start to feel the loss of time, they start reading like an F. They go across the top line and they go a little bit across on the second line. And now they're just scanning down the left side of the page. They're not even reading what's there.
I've been
So,
guilty of that.
right? So, well, of
Yes.
course, but that's our job. That's our job, to put ourselves in the
Yes.
role of the learner, in the mindset of the learner. So again, it's all of that just comes back to, if the thing that AI is really good at is indiscriminately giving you an incredible amount of content, as an L&D professional, you look at that and you understand, well, that's the beginning. That's step 1. Whereas, because it's never been something that's been clear to people outside learning, they look at that and they say, that's done,
Hmm.
right?
Right.